So look, we know that not too long ago, there was the Coast Guard lieutenant who was apparently planning some sort of massive terror attack. So massive that he said he would try to kill literally everyone on the planet. And so look, extremism, white supremacy, those sorts of things in the military should not come as a shock to anyone at this point. I actually read a book years ago about a reporter who was embedded with the special forces in different branches of the military, and he found people talking in those sorts of terms. Not a lot of them, we're talking about a small minority, but still significant. And so it should not be shocking that a new report came out showing that a Discord group, or a group that had a Discord chat server called Identity Evropa, apparently had members of the active duty armed forces participating in their chats. So that's 2 Marines, 2 Army ROTC cadets, an Army physician, a member of the Texas National Guard, and a member of the Air Force. All apparently were identified as belonging to that organization, which is listed by the ADL and the Southern Poverty Law Center as an extremist group. HuffPost both confirmed their identity and then reached out to those branches of the military who did confirm that those were active members in those services. So look, the Discord chat had the sorts of speech that you would expect.
Right.
There's racist and anti-Semitic views, and that group generally has, in the past year or two, has tried to, or I guess a year and a half, because I'm gonna describe why, has limited themselves to sort of propaganda campaigns around campuses of posting literature and things like that. Now, they had been tied to that Unite the Right rally. Apparently, at least in the context of this Discord server, they've been attempting to differentiate themselves from those sorts of people. So they've tried to police the speech a little bit, but apparently in many cases it hasn't actually worked out, including members of the leadership of that group have said and posted things that are obviously incredibly objectionable.
You know, when I said earlier that this was shocking, you're right, this shouldn't be shocking. I think it's just reading some of the chats, it was just, you know, and one of the guys here allegedly, like there's pictures of him posting some of the, I guess, like posters from this white supremacist extremist group around town in Oklahoma City. So, you know. Yeah,
and the funny thing is like I'm glad that organizations like this are going on, and I think it was Unicorn Riot that did an investigation of going through chat logs, and HuffPost did some great work here. But the thing is, like, this sort of normalization of what should be considered pretty extremist sort of stuff. Like, yeah, you can find that by going to Discord chats and 4chan, or you can follow Steve King on Facebook, where he posted over the weekend a thing about how if it comes to a civil war, our side has 8 trillion bullets and the other side doesn't know which bathroom to use. Saying, ha ha ha, we're going to gun down the other side if there's a civil war. He's a sitting congressman in the Republican Party. So it really spans from the most public and highest profile sorts of environments to things that are relatively harder to see. And to the original point about how this is a significant problem, there was a poll in 2017 conducted by the Military Times, found that nearly 25% of service members surveyed said they had encountered white nationalists within their ranks. 30% said that they saw white nationalism as a bigger threat to national security than the wars in Syria, Afghanistan, and Iraq combined. I mean, that is gigantic. And I know that there are people that are thankfully watching out for this. The problem is that the people inside the FBI who would normally be investigating this sort of organizing and looking out for people like the Coast Guard lieutenant have been defunded and deorganized by Donald Trump since he became president. So more reason to be worried about what might eventually come from this extremism inside of the ranks of the armed forces.
Right. And that's when we say it's institutional and it's systemic, like it's things like that, because now you don't not only have to worry about, you know, how they would behave in a foreign country, but also with the people they're supposed to be protecting. You know?
Yeah, and they're well trained. What are they going to do after they leave? And the thing is too, this is focused on the military, but we should be equally or more worried about this in police forces as well. If there are people that are being radicalized and hold positions of authority and influence, armed positions of authority and influence in communities around the country, that should be a significant worry. And I am so glad that organizations like HuffPost and that are trying to make this a thing that we're talking about, but it seems like a pretty big deal and relatively little conversation about it so far.
Yeah, I mean, but because you know we could do this in the healthcare system, we could do this with teachers. There was a video I was talking to you about earlier. Like it's you know it's
about a teacher who was screaming racial obscenities.
Someone who worked for a school system
in Connecticut, yes, screaming racial obscenities that just happened to be captured on tape. and might have been doing that for a long time, and we didn't know about it until thankfully someone had their cell phone.
Right, people who approve mortgages at banks. You know, it's just, it trickles down everywhere.
Yeah. And thankfully some people at least are watching out for it. Thank you very much for watching this clip from the Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.